Hey everyone, it's Old Bastard 1000, and I'm back with an installment of Revolutions in between this series of videos that I'm doing on Melbourne labels, which I would encourage you to watch because they're more or less episodes of Revolutions, but just on one label, and there's lots of interesting records. I mean, I'm just not just talking about the label, but showing the records from the label and giving you my impressions, and you might discover something interesting. They're Melbourne labels. They are pride and joy. But I'm just saying this because I think it's worth mentioning, because those videos are, just basically flown under the radar. I've done 3 of them, and I intend to do about 10 in total. On various labels. Next one will be on Efficient Space, which is a label that I love. I hope you're all well and that you're, in good spirits. Here it's obviously winter in the southern hemisphere, but I know the weather is pretty extreme in Europe and other parts. So I hope you're doing okay. I'm going to. A lot of my music is actually wintry music at the moment. That's a general. I've got a pile of records at my feet. This is Revolutions, and this is what I've been spinning and what I've been listening to this morning. Today was Friday. I started with this wonderful record. It's Johnny Bell, Mountain States. It's on Ramble Records. I will do an installment on Ramble Records. It's basically the American Primitive label of Melbourne. It's fantastic. It's run by a super nice dude. I'll talk about it in a video soon. And this is one of their latest releases. It's American Primitive on banjo. So Johnny Bell hail from, I think, Texas maybe, and he plays banjos, fiddle, shruti, cymbals, and he's accompanied by Andrew Weathers, who is also the producer of the album, who plays guitar, synth, and cymbals. So it's not a solo banjo American Primitive record, but it's kind of, the sweet spot between a sort of a bluegrass American Primitive, no vocals banjo record, and I really, really love it. I've been playing this a lot. And another American Primitive record on Ramble as well, also on Ramble Records. It's from this Belgian guitar player called Alec Eline. So he's Belgian, but he lives in Melbourne, and it's called Drift Lines. This beautiful sleeve, fantastic with those birds. And this is really in the tradition of Robbie Basho or Jean Ferry, but it's a modern take. It's really super meditative record, just really, captivating music, really, really exceptionally beautiful and very nice on a winter morning. And this is also a recent release. As you know, this year I've embarked on the no buying record or buying less, and I'm only buying, if I'm buying things, I'm trying to buy things from this year, and those 2 records were released in 2026 because I want to add nice things to my collections that are current. I'm not buying reissues or things like that, or what you call it, records from way back. I've rediscovered recently The Life Pursuit by Bell and Sebastian. If you follow this channel, you know that I'm a diehard Bell and Sebastian fan. Well, actually, it's not really true. I don't really listen to what they've produced in the past probably 10 years. It's just not interested me enough. But from Tiger Milk to roughly this record is the cut-off point for me. I love everything they've done, so Yeah, it's this an album is not one I play very often, but you know when I play it, I really enjoy it. With Act of the Apostles, Another Sunny Day. You know the blues are still blue. Just beautiful songs. And this was released in 2006. Yeah, The Life Pursuit. Belle and Sebastian from Glasgow, led by the great Stuart Murdoch. The kings of indie pop, in my opinion. Just one of the best bands for me personally. And since I'm in indie pop, here is a weird record. This is a record from this year. The band is a duo. They're called Sinji Trilogy. It's made of these two girls, Isabella Martin and Matilda Cameron. They're two Melburnians, two girls from Melbourne. And they've done a really interesting hybrid of DIY, experimental, folk, and art pop. I think that's what you would find in there. It reminds me a lot of things like Julia Holter or to a point Björk, but with a much more DIY kind of sense. It's a new record, 2026. And I've been really enjoying it. I've discovered it sort of kind of by accident whilst just browsing in the record store, and I've been really taken by this music. They've got beautiful voices. They're sort of kind of angelic and very gritty at the same time. It's beautiful. It reminds me a lot of Julia Holter. That's all I'm going to say. And yeah, another record that I've been really enjoying of late is the fantastic Poem One by Anna Roxanne. So Anna Roxanne is a sort of singer-songwriter, but it's more, for me it's more ambient music. She's this ambient composer. She's I think she's from the US. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, just correct me in the comments. I'll be happy to be corrected. But she plays on this beautiful, very ambient, ethereal piano, and she sings. She has a very delicate voice, and it's an ambient record, but with vocals. And it's called Poem One, and it was released on Cranky this year. And I've been really enjoying it, and I can only recommend it. Now here's one of my favorite things from this year, released this year. Absolute, just really very difficult to describe record, but just something that I've been really loving. The band's called the Bodies of Divine and Infinite and Eternal Spirit. You can see the name of the band just in the middle there. And the album's called Disaster One. So they performed the 46-minute song. So it is 37 members of a group. They're almost like a collective, in some ways it's not too dissimilar to, like these like krautrock kind of collectives. You think Amandul, Zwei, or where you've got these, this communal energy. This was produced by Lawrence English, so he's here in Australia very well known, makes a lot of really interesting drone and ambient records. This here is the product of a lot of different approaches. You've got a very kind of post-rock, almost like Godspeed You Black Emperor-esque with crescendos, and it has echoes of like things like Popol Vuh and Ashra Temple as well, and to a point as well, a little bit of talk. So if you put all these things into a blender, you get this wonderful kind of like soaring, very melodic, but as well as being experimental. It's very difficult to understand. It's a Melbourne record. They've only made 200 of those or something like that. And I personally love it. I think it's one of my favorite releases this year. you can listen to it on Bandcamp. So I would encourage you to take a listen. Speaking of post rock, I was in two minds about because I'm purging my collection at the moment. You can see there's some gaps in some places. There. That's a purge in process. I'm hoping to purge 3 boxes of records, 3 full boxes, because there's a lot of stuff that I don't really listen to, and I need to, I can't expand. My space is at maximum capacity. So I was looking at certain things that I have that I don't really play very often, and I'm thinking, do I really need this record? And one of these was this record. Ends from up there from by Black Country New Road. I'm in two minds about this album. I love the first Black Country New Road album. I really love this kind of Slint-esque post-rock energy that they've just applied there. And the second one is widely considered as a masterpiece. It's up there in like lists of best records of the 2020s, and I mean, I understand that you also have to be of a certain generation. I think music is also generational. I feel some music you have to be the right age and the right. And I think that could be a point for discussion further. I think I'm planning to do a live stream in next week. I think, and I'll probably that could be a point of discussion. Is do you have to be of a certain generation to truly appreciate the music that comes out made by young people at that time? And I think this is a case in point where I think I really enjoy this record. The songs are super well composed. It's catchy, it's melodic, it's clever. I don't mind the voice of Isaac, whatever his name is. I can't remember his surname, but and at the same time, I'm like, yeah, but if I'm going to take a post-rock album out, it's not going to be that. But I'm still going to keep it. I've decided to keep this album and to just invest more time in rediscovering or finding. And I've gone through the same process with Geordie Grip, and I can't keep Geordie Grip because I just don't like that music. It just doesn't. There's something about the music that is not for me. Like I appreciate what he's doing, but it's not pushing the right buttons for me. I mean, that's taste is complex. I feel, and I think that's what we're all in this in this hobby defined by. It's like how we react to things and how we interact with the content and with the music and how it's affecting our psyche, how you feel this. It's very it's complex, and I think that the older I get, the more I see that not everyone can like certain things because I like them, that you will like them. For example, this beautiful ambient record, I love this. Earth Tones, Kevin Nathaniel. This is an Australian artist who plays the kalimba, the thumb piano, as well as some beautiful ambient synth. You get layers of synth plus this magical sound of this kalimba. It's here. It's called the Mbira. Tunga and Tuga, it's the same thing. It's a thumb piano. It's got different names in different places. It's also called a Sanza in Cameroon. Yeah, this is a beautiful record. Just really earthy, ambient, kind of majestic kind of sound. And it came out in 2023 on the Isle of Jura, which is a label. I think they're based in Adelaide. I'm not sure. I think they're in South Australia, but they make beautiful records. I'm going to enter a slight Middle Eastern, Arabic Middle Eastern kind of chapter here. I last Saturday, for my birthday, my girlfriend bought me a ticket to go and see a show called the Songs of Pharaohs. And if you don't know Pharaohs, she's kind of an icon of Arabic language music. Sorry, and she hails from Lebanon. She's still alive. She's 90 something years old, and her songs are universally known in the Middle East, in Egypt, Lebanon, Syria. She's she's a cult figure, really. The music that she's made is, and so they put together a concert. This band, two percussionists, a wonderful. She's an opera singer, but she has this sort of beautiful voice, and then a guy on the oud and violin, and someone playing the nai, which is the flute. And they played the songs of Ferouz. So this made me replay Ferouz a lot. And Ferouz, she collaborated a lot with the Rabbani brothers. So they're just a family of killer producers. And what the cool thing about the Rabbanis is that they've got this kind of funky, almost organic, almost library music approach to the composition. So as a result, the songs are often like really driving and really funky, very organic, very loose. So if you want to explore Ferouz, Hadan is fantastic. It's probably your best album, and I would also recommend this album, which is called Marit Fik, which has. When I was at the concert, I realized a lot of the hits she was singing came from those two records, actually. So this came out in 1970 something. I'm not sure exactly, but you can look it up. But those both are reissues from We Want Sounds, which is a wonderful label, and so you can find it easily. So I was playing that, and then it led me to playing other things. I pulled out this. This is killer. This is a Moroccan ambient, experimental, kind of wacky record. Aisha Kandisha jarring effects. This was sent to me by my friend Christophe years ago, and is a sort of fourth world, absolutely. Stunningly captivating kind of like record, and it was recorded in 1988, but it was released in Switzerland, which is why my friend Christophe, who's Swiss, sent me this. It's just it's called El Bouya, the album. 1988, kind of like a fourth world ambient experimental Moroccan record. I got stuck into this beautiful Mustafa Skandrani, who's Algerian, who plays like very beautiful modal piano with these North African scales, really sort of, and it's a mix between North African scales and Andalusian scales, which he sort of like southern Spanish. It has this, the region of southern Spain, Andalusia, historically was invaded and conquered by the Moors, so it was Muslim for a long time. That's why when you go to Cordoba or Granada or Seville, you see those mosques. They used to be mosques, now are cathedral, notably La Mezquita, which is in Cordoba. I've been to, and is incredible. And when you are in there, you can imagine the music that could be played in there is this improvisations by Mustafa Skandrani. They're kind of like Keith Jarrett of Andalusian Algerian scales. Don't throw stones at me. I was playing this fucking extraordinary. So this is fine, but it's a bit hard to find. It's an oud recital by Hussein El Masri, who's I think is also Algerian from memory. No, he's Egyptian. Excuse me. And this is Solo Oud. It's him just playing scales again. This is just killer. It was released in 1980. There's no date, but from memory, it's in the 80s. I think it's 85 or something. Fantastically spellbinding. And to finish that sort of like Middle Eastern bracket, here is a killer Santur record. So Santur is this instrument which is played with mallets. It's kind of like like a zither, I guess. But it's the Iranian version of it, and it's just, this is magical music. It's very hypnotic. You've got Majid Kiani, who plays the Santur, and another guy who plays the sarb, which is a percussion instrument. This was released in 1977. Is really, really, really gorgeous music. Just a bit like Laraji, I guess. Laraji is a good comparison point. Then I'm going to move on and show you some, rock and pop and indie kind of things that I've been playing. I've been rediscovering Kevin Coyne, Marjorie Razorblade, one of the best kind of folk rock album to ever come out of England. We released on Virgin Records. This is the original pressing, and it's the four sides of absolute madness. I feel that Kevin Coyne is kind of like the Captain Beefheart with it's kind of like the folky bluesy Captain Beefheart of England, and this album is his best album by far. And if you want a really good example, listen to Eastbourne Ladies. He sings and plays acoustic guitar and plays mandolin, and then he's got a band behind him. It's just incredible music. I love Kevin Coyne. He's a true eccentric of the UK scene of that time, and I feel he's, I think, underappreciated a little bit. Likewise, another UK eccentric that gets a little bit under the radar at times, Peter Hamill. This is my favorite thing that he's ever done, really. I'm not a big fan of Van de Graaff Generator, but this is a great album. It's gritty punk art pop energy. It's in Nadia's Big Chance with the fantastic Institute of Mental Health Burning. Like, it's such a great song. And you've got these kind of like just really, spiraling layered guitar lines that just it adds to this kind of toxic atmosphere. This record is really dark, I feel, and I think that it's quite underrated in my own personal opinion, but I love this. Another UK classic of that sort of time period ish, Mainstream, Quiet Sun, project of Brian Eno. Charles Haywood from This Heat plays on this. Phil Manzanera from Roxy Music. So it's kind of the bridge between ambient prog and kind of like post-punk. It's got this kind of, it's got a little bit of everything in there. It's very Crimson in sounds at times. It's very sort of like Crimson meets kind of Hatfield and North. It's got this kind of Canterbury prog vibe with a very distinct avant-garde sort of it wants to be avant-garde. It's beautiful. Mummy was an asteroid. Daddy was a small non-stick kitchen utensil. That's a song title here. Tells you everything you need to know. Okay, continuing. I rediscovered the other day this album that I've had for fucking 20 years. The Jesus of Cool, Nick Lowe, one of the icons of the pub rock music scene on Stiff Records. with this just absolutely incredible sleeve with yeah, I love the sound of breaking glass, for example, or So It Goes. It's just it's just pop, British pop at its finest, really very catchy, very loose, and yeah, from that sort of like late 70s scene, if you like Dr. Feelgood or Eddie and the Hot Rods, that kind of it's that kind of sound. A little bit of like sophisti-pop, sort of like indie pop from the 80s. Because sophisti-pop is, yeah, like stuff like that, for example. The Monochrome Set, which has got this sort of punky energy, but it's got into a very kind of loungy pop kind of, like a bit like Everything But the Girl or bands like that, where you've got this obviously very, very delicate music. Monochrome Set Love Zombies from 1980 on Din Disc. Yeah, this one is probably more like a post-punk, record than a sophisti-pop record. But look, it goes to that sort of sound. I rediscovered this just lovely record by the Nits. They're a Dutch band, the Nits from Rotterdam, I think. And this came out in 1990. It's called Giant Normal Dwarf. There you go. And I'm not a fan of the opening song. I think the opening song just kind of like sets you in a mood where you think it's going to be a bit tacky and everything. But if you go past it, the rest is just top notch, sophisti-pop, really beautiful, very melodic indie pop, a bit saccharine in places, but again, if you like Everything But the Girl, if you like things like I just can't think of any other band that come to my mind directly here. It will come to me, but this is a lovely, yeah, just gentle, very melodic. The lyrics are kind of funny as well. Yeah, it's great. The Nits, I've loved the Nits for years, and same for this band here. Again, very much rooted in that indie pop, little bit sophisti-pop style. Micro Disney, a band that really hasn't, it's never talked about really, but has produced this amazing, Everybody's Fantastic record. I think they were from Ireland to start with. Was the main guy who plays in this band. I don't know. I can't remember now. My brain, but I'm pretty sure they were from Ireland at the time. And yeah, in the same sort of, you could put this in the same category of like this of records by the Pale Fountains, for example, or the Nits, very very close. Okay, I've also rediscovered "Get Happy" by Elvis Costello and the Attraction. Just it's been on my shelf for again 20 years, and I never played. And I was thinking of purging this record, and I played it, and I thought, no, this is very 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 nice. Is Elvis Costello doing soul basically, but he's not really a soul singer. He doesn't have a soul band behind him, so this mixture of him trying to do soul and this approach makes this record a bit naive and kind of interesting. De facto, very interesting. It's got "I Can't Stand Up for Falling Down," which is amazing, and "Love for Tender" is beautiful as well. "I Stand Accused," just really, really, really great record. Elvis Costello. And I'll finish, nearly there. I've rediscovered some indie records there. Mac DeMarco from the Canadian Slacker, kind of like a one-man Pavement from Canada. Salad Days, his second record, amazing. Really, really, really beautiful record. Highly, highly recommended. Did I drop something on the ground? Did I drop a inner sleeve? No, that's fine. Mac DeMarco, Salad Days, with a collection of very laid back, very very melodic, very very gentle songs. Speaking of Pavements, So we got One Man Pavement, we got The Real Pavement, Crooked Rain, Crooked Rain. Probably my favorite Pavement record, to be honest. I mean, I love Slanted and Enchanted, but I think this is like a pop record for Pavement. Gold Sounds, Range Life, everything is a pop song on this. Stop Breathing, and there's a song that I really love, 5-4 equals unity, when they do a Dave Brubeck rendition, but the indie version of Take 5 by Brubeck, which is great. This led me to replay Souvlaki by Slowdive, because they're in the same kind of section, and I hadn't played this record. It's wonderful. Creation Records, those two voices that they marry. It's effectively a dream pop record, or a shoegaze record, if you will. But I think there's more to that. I think that it's got this very ethereal kind of quality. But I wouldn't necessarily box it as a purely shoegaze record. I think it's one of the milestones of the UK indie scene. 1993, the golden period. There's this new book that's been released by Simon Reynolds that I'm tempted to buy, which is all about that scene. And I think probably having looked at the cover of that book in the bookstore, it made me want to pull out Cocteau Twins and Slowdive and bands like that, just because sometimes you get inspired like this. Complete outlier in this selection, a folk record from the UK, Barry Dransfield, who was also in Morris On. He's a violinist and he plays beautiful folk songs. I mean, I should stop saying beautiful. It's my vocabulary is dwindling, but the folk songs that he plays are well chosen. The Werewolf, Be My Friend, Lots of Little Soldiers, very traditional UK folk kind of numbers, but with his own. He's got a very compelling voice, and plays the violin, and a bit of guitar, and Barry Dransfield, probably lesser known record from the UK folk revival. People know about Fairport Convention and Richard Thompson and all that stuff, but Barry Dransfield. I'm going to finish with 4 jazz records. Already been speaking for 32 minutes, gosh. Here's a super duper recommendation for everyone here. The Clear Path Ensemble from New Zealand. Corey Champion is his name. Ascending. Basically, if you put Steve Reich and Jan Garbarek into a blender. I mean, an ECM record and a Steve Reich record into a blender, you get more or less that. He plays the vibraphone, xylophone, glockenspiel, marimba, so you got this very repetitive looping. And minimalism is all about the slight delay between the repetition, the phases, and it's this thing of adding layers, but with a ever so slight delay, and so you get this kind of phase that loops. That's what you get here. This record is just distributed in New Zealand and in Melbourne, which is why I discovered it basically in Melbourne, going to one of my favorite record stores, and I sort of listened to it online, and I was very happy I bought it. ECM, a bit of ECM. I rediscovered 3-Day Moon by Barry Phillips from 1978. A mix between his glorious bass playing and a bit of synth there in the background, and some beautiful tabla. So kind of a world fusion type of affair. 3-Day Moon, very highly enjoyable. I love Barry Phillips on ECM. It's always interesting. And, well, since I was captivated by that, I continue with this, but this is a lot less accessible in terms of this is more abstract. It demands a lot more effort as a listener. Barry Phillips plays the bass, and Dave Holland plays the bass and the cello on this. And they're very, very, abstract, avant-garde pieces. Still, if you love those two geniuses, you can get into this. It's just a matter of concentration, and not all music is directly accessible. Some music demands a little bit of intellectual effort. And to finish with, that doesn't demand any effort at all. It just gets into you in one hit like this. Tender Moments, Cortana. A gift from my friend Cedric. I have 2 copies of this. I've got the Tone Poet, and I've got this one, and I think I'm gonna sell my Tone Poet and keep this one because, well, you know, it was a gift to start with, and it's a nice original. And well, it's not an original, but it's from the time period, and it sounds great. And you know, we've got Lee Morgan, Julian Priester on trombone, James Spalding, Benny Maupin, just a really, really great band. Joe Chambers on drums. Yeah, kind of a post-bop affair. Very, very, very skillful. Yeah, again, very gentle and a little bit driving at times as well. From 1968, maybe, or something like that, around the time. On Blue Note. Okay, thank you, everyone. That's all I'm going to speak about. Maybe you'll see me on a live stream next week. We'll see. And check out my Melbourne label videos.